Thank you for your interest in BackTax. So, what exactly is BackTax? BackTax is a very simple but powerful tool that was created to help expedite the process of filling out a Schedule E by acting as a companion software to the Epson ScanSmart Invoice Receipt Manager. It also supports back year Schedule E's for the purpose of back taxes. BackTax back year Schedule E's go back as far as 9 years, so we have you covered. Currently, BackTax has a single edition, the BackTax Rental Epson ScanSmart Edition. We will be adding more support as time goes on, but for now, BackTax only supports the import of Epson ScanSmart Receipt Invoice Manager CSVs. So we'll go ahead and start there. Once in Invoice Manager, you will notice the typical layout for the scanned invoices and receipts. Now, I'm not going to go into the functionality of how the manager works, so if you aren't already familiar with it, I will put a link in the description so you can get caught up. It's important to note that this workflow will only work with receipts, as they are the final expense documents and allow you to assign a Schedule E tax category, so always make sure that you are in the receipts mode. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at this receipt. After confirming we are in the receipt mode, we will then click on the tax category dropdown. You will see all the corresponding tax categories that appear on your standard IRS Schedule E form. You can also double check if a receipt has been assigned to a tax category by scrolling to the left and browsing to see if there are any missing tax categories. If there are, now would be the time to go ahead and assign them. With all your receipts scanned, you are now ready to export all your expense data as a CSV file. Go ahead and click on the Select All arrow, then press Export and Save. Select CSV File, and you should get a window to name your file. I'll go ahead and call mine 2020 Expenses. That way, I can identify it when importing into BackTax. Alright, we are now ready for BackTax. Alright, so here in BackTax, you'll notice we have a single and multi-property workflow. I'm going to go ahead and choose a single property, and I'm going to choose the year 2023 because I know I have a CSV for that year. Let's enter a name. I'll just put in John Doe. And we've also included the option to enter an SSN, so I'll go ahead and choose yes and put in an imaginary one here. And then I'll grab my corresponding CSV, which is the 2023 expenses, and I'll drag it, and I'll see a message that says CSV successfully loaded. And then we'll go ahead and put an imaginary address in here. Okay, and then when I go to generate the Schedule E, what's going to happen is it's going to pop up a window for us to go ahead and save our Schedule E, and you can see it knows that it's 2023. So we'll just save that on the desktop. And after we do that, we'll get our rents received input box. And that's where we're going to input our rent received. So we'll just come up with an imaginary number here that I know is higher than the totals of the CSV. And we'll go ahead and keep our royalties at 0. And there it is, the Schedule E has been generated. So we'll go ahead and take a look at that. And as you can see, everything is where it's supposed to be, and the totals have been tallied up against one another, and everything looks good. The Schedule E looks perfect. So now for our multi-property. So returning over to BackTax, we will go ahead and switch the workflow to the multi-property workflow. And this time I'll select my tax year to be 2024 because I actually have a multi-property workflow for 2024. We can keep everything the same, and I'll go ahead and switch my number of properties to 3, and I will begin the import process for my CSVs. So I'll go over here to my multi-property folder, and you'll see I have multi-property A, B, and C for 2024, so let me go ahead and bring in A. And we'll go ahead and enter an address here. Just more imaginary addresses. right, and let's go ahead and grab our property B. And we'll go ahead and put in our address for property B. And finally, we'll go ahead and bring in our property C. And wrap that up with an address. Okay, and just like last time, we're going to go ahead and click that Generate Schedule E, and we can go ahead and save it. And again, it notices that it's a 2024. And now we're going to have to enter the rents and royalties for each property. So just go ahead and have those totals ready. Go ahead and put 0 for these royalties and some more imaginary income amounts here. And then last but not least, we'll do, 96,345 sounds good. And let's do 2,500 for the royalties on property C. All right, and our Schedule E has been generated, so let's check it out. And as you can see, it's got our name, our social, all 3 properties, all the rents received, the royalties for property C, all of our CSV expense amounts, everything tallied correctly, our 23E done correctly, all the way down to our 24, 25, and 26. So there you go. And that will work on all the years. And we hope that BackTax makes your life just a little bit easier.